What makes the word America ring with the sound that brightens the air? It's people, her people who have done their own thing with blood, sweat, and tears and a prayer.
Louis Armstrong on a golden trumpet, and Marian Anderson singing the Lord's Prayer. The savage power of Jack Dempsey, and the quiet pride of Jesse Owens. Merle Haggard singing Okie from Muskogee, and Chet Atkins picking a guitar. Bing Crosby at Christmas time, and Charles Lindbergh crossing the Atlantic alone.
A sharecropper's son, an immigrant boy, a hobo who rode all the rails, the magic guitar of an old country boy, a lone eagle who pioneered trade.
Sandy Koufax staring down at a batter while Willie Mays chants his Say Hey. Maria Tallchief gliding in Swan Lake while Fred Astaire dances on gossamer wings. Billy Graham bringing God to millions, and Jonas Salk bringing hope to the world. Mahalia Jackson closing her eyes in devotion, and Johnny Cash singing at the White House.
What makes the word America ring with the sound that brightens the air? It's people, her people who have done their own thing with blood, sweat, and tears and a prayer.
Willie Shoemaker booting swaps home, while Eddie Arcaro wins the Triple Crown on Citation. Arnie Palmer winning the Open, while Eddie Arnold is winning hearts. Tom Harmon threading the field for Michigan, while Bob Morrison plays his heart out for Troy. Kate Smith singing God Bless America, and Irving Berlin who wrote it. Then there are those unheralded, whose dedication to our country is strong and true. The builders of America, those who make her factories hum, the loggers of her great forests, the men who labor deep in her mines, and the man who works with his hands, the farmer who toils from dawn to dusk, those who carry our bountiful yield to all the states of our Union, the railroaders, our merchant sailors, the airline pilots, and those modern knights of the road, the truck drivers. These and others like them have earned their right to walk proudly with the knowledge that their goals were achieved through honest toil and in the spirit of harmony found in the people working together in this great land.
What makes the word America ring with the sound that brightens the air?
It's people, her people, who have done their own thing with blood, sweat, and tears and a prayer.
You ask me why I love her? Well, give me time. I'll explain. You seen a Kansas sunset or an Arizona rain? Have you drifted on a bayou down Louisiana way? Have you watched the cold fog drifting over San Francisco Bay? Have you heard a Bob White calling in the Carolina pines, or heard the bellow of a diesel at the Appalachia mines? Does the call of the Niagara thrill you when you hear her waters roar? You look with awe and wonder at her Massachusetts shore, where men who braved a hard new world first stepped on Plymouth's rock. Do you think of them when you stroll along a New York City dock? Have you seen a snowflake drifting in the Rockies way up high? Have you seen the sun come blazing down from a bright Nevada sky? Do you hail to the Columbia as you rush into the sea, or bow your head at Gettysburg, our struggle to be free? Have you seen the mighty Tetons? You watched an eagle soar? Have you seen the Mississippi roll along Missouri's shore? Have you felt a chill at Michigan when on a winter's day her waters rage along the shore in thunderous display? Does the word aloha make you warm? Do you stare in disbelief when you see the surf come roaring in at Waimea Reef? From Alaska's cold to the Everglades, from the Rio Grande to Maine, my heart cries out, my pulse runs fast, the might of her domain. You ask me why I love her? I've a million reasons why. My beautiful America, beneath God's wide, wide sky.
Welcome back to American Thunder. Recently, a new Indian motorcycle has been sighted on American highways and along its back roads. These bikes inherit the classic good looks and history which has been kept alive in part by passionate enthusiasts with an unbroken tie to the brand's origin. Once again, here's American Thunder's Mike Moran.
Thanks, Michelle. Bob Stark fell in love with Indian motorcycles as a child and has been faithful ever since. His degree in mechanical engineering has enabled him to use his training to make the preservation of the mark his life's work. With the help of his son Gary, who's been riding Indian since the age of 5, Stark Light Cycle's catalog of over 4,000 vintage Indian parts is recognized worldwide as the source for Indian restorations.
I've loved the Indians. I grew up with them. My father was Dior from 1918 to 1952, so I've known them my whole life, and I just have done what I could through the years myself to keep the name going. The Indian mark, it's a thing that nobody can really say. There's thousands and thousands of people worldwide that just have a feeling for Indian.
Bob uses special equipment to effectively reverse engineer any metal parts required to rebuild an antique Indian.
I have a shadowgraph upstairs that we put a part on a shadowgraph, and from that we can reverse all the angles, the dimensions, and everything exactly on the parts, take an original factory part, and make the sketch, then have a drafting table up here, we sit down and make the blueprint. And the blueprints are sent out to different vendors to get quotes on them and select somebody to go ahead and make the parts.
Bob's 10-acre facility encompasses 8 buildings that house all the antique Indian motorcycle parts you would ever need for a restoration.
This one here is mostly Scout and 4-cylinder parts. It's a mixture of used original parts and new reproduction parts and some new old stock parts. In this area here, this building here has got mostly chief parts and several of the basket cases. And the basket case are bikes that are apart that we start to build from. And each one of these bins that you see up here has a separate motorcycle in it. We just start with a frame or forks. And when we have all the parts in that bin to do a motorcycle, then we'll go ahead and pull the bike out and do it.
Bob also stores and catalogs used Indian parts from scouts, chiefs, and warriors in hopes that someday they'll find new homes on old motorcycles.
When you're dealing with the antique stuff here, you don't throw anything out because you don't know what you're going to come up with that you're going to need. This wheel here is for about a 1928, 29, it's got a brake drum. 28, they didn't have a brake. 29, they had a brake drum in. It's the old clincher rim. This place here sort of acts like a depository. Somebody comes in with a 1927 wheel, says, I need a 1929 wheel. I trade them. So we have a lot of people coming out for different things that are real oddball stuff, and usually we can find it for them.
In years past, Bob would find many Indian parts at swap meets, which he would then painstakingly restore. This became expensive, so Bob decided to cast the parts himself.
And it came to be where it's such a hassle even trying to find them. That's when we start making the things. So we go down, we have the things made. Now we sell the whole thing brand new. But I believe this is about a $29 piece.
In addition to his parts business, Bob keeps busy restoring about 30 Indians each year with a limited staff.
This one here is a 1936 Indian chief. It's about 60% completed. And now we're waiting for the sheet metal to come back from the painters. He's out striping it now. This cycle here is a 1948 chief. It's pretty much a stock bike, except for the paint scheme on it. The paint colors on this are 1956 Ford Thunderbird Colonial White and Peacock Blue. This cycle represents the longest restoration rebuild project I ever got involved with. In 1966, we purchased the crankcase and the frame, which were used items but were absolutely mint perfect. So I got the idea of building a brand new 53 Chief. 53 is the last year of production, and the brand new one would be unheard of. It's almost completed. Probably going to be one of the most valuable Indians in the world. This cycle here is a 1937 Indian Dispatch tow. We call it that because it has a tow bar in the trunk of this. The tow bar goes on the front. You'd hook it onto a bumper of a car. Then the car dealerships and that would tow them on the back of a car out and ride them back when they'd service cars for people. So garages and that, plus they're used, they call ticket-made bikes.
We'll have a lot more American Thunder action when we return from a short break. Don't go away.
Welcome back to American Thunder. During our visit to Stark Light Cycle, Bob Stark gave us a tour of the museum that he started as a testament to his beloved Indians. Part of Bob's collection includes hundreds of Indian motorcycle memorabilia and motorabilia that span the company's 100-plus years of history. The museum contains examples of over 60 Indian motorcycles, ranging from the company's beginnings right up to a modern Indian Spirit. Bob is part of the human connection that bridges the Indian past to the new Indian Scouts, Spirits, and Chiefs rolling off the line in Gilroy, California. Indian consulted with Bob when they were designing their new Chief Vintage model. Of course, every bike has a story. But this 1948 Chief caught Bob's eye when he was only a teenager. He worked at odd jobs in order to buy this Indian of his dreams. He was heartbroken when he found out that the Chief had been sold right out from underneath him. That is, until that fateful day when he saw an ad in a local paper.
So I go out to look at it, and the guy opens the garage door, and there sits the same bike. I'm running over to it and said, "You bought this a year ago from Spot Motor on East Market." I said, "That's right." And I looked at the odometer and said, "You put 65 miles on it." He says, "Yep, still got the same tank. Yes, night I brought it home." So I bought it from that night for $325 and figured that the Lord had given me a second chance at it. I said it was going to be my motorcycle for my life. I would never sell it. I got 238,000 miles on it now. That's been my passion to just see the stuff survive. The parts we make, there's no way you can make money on them. You do it because they're needed. You do it because that is what it takes to keep the bike on the road. Okay, we're back at Paris, California. The place here is Stark Light Cycle. It's Bob Stark. And this is sort of a place I've been working on for a long time. Been planning this just about my whole life. I've been doing Indian cycles for about 50 years now. Started when I was 10 years old doing them.
Like it or not, this is good. Like it or not, this is good. This is good. She likes to argue, well, what am I supposed to say now? Yes, she breaks things, so I break things too. And like it or not, this is good. Like it or not, this is good. This is good. When I was 17 and she was 21, outside there was a plague, inside was only fun. She blacked out all the windows, then she painted it